wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim?
California dreaming.
Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kim cast. It's me, Rojan Kim. Here we are. It's the day after the Super Bowl. Guys, how are you feeling? Feeling great? Feeling good. It's the day after the Super Bowl. It's February 3rd. So Super Bowl Monday, or post-Super Bowl Monday. It's the Iowa caucus. It's a sunny yet blustery day in LA. I don't know why. The temperature suddenly dropped and got really windy. Apparently there's a snow going on in Denver, so maybe this is all part of the tail end of that weather system, man. And, you know, maybe I heard that the Australia fires are causing like shifts in climate, man. And so Rami is in Prague, she's in Europe, and it's raining over there, and they're all saying in Europe, you know, it's like the Australian fires are really affecting everything, man. And I'm just like, shut up, hippie. It's still winter. No, who knows? Who really knows? Are the Australia fires affecting the climate? Are we affecting the climate? Are we gonna even be around? I don't know. You know what'll affect the climate? Nuclear war. That'll do it. That'll show the climate. You think you can just fucking change? Fuck you. Take that. Take nuclear winter. Few thousand years or however long. I don't know. Couple hundred. Because it really depends how big a boom, right? Can't be more than a couple thousand. I'm sure. Okay, I bet we could go 1,000 years without life, or most life, like I guess life in the oceans and some thermal vent type shit. That would be doable, I guess. But overall, most life would be dead. I'd probably like 95% of life would be dead because the sun is gone, because that kills everything on land, and it kills all the phytoplankton, which all the ocean animals feed off of. So that's the food chain right there. The overall food chain of the entire ocean is now collapsing because there's no sun. And then the only animals probably living are deep underwater sea creatures who live by thermal vents, which is where they're getting their energy from. In their food, there's bacteria that feed up. You know, the whole ecosystem is just like based around this thermal vent. And as long as there's a thermal vent, as long as the earth is hot at its core, we'll have some life somewhere. Just needs energy, you know, whether it's from the sun, some thermal heat. Could be volcano. See, there could be animals existing around volcanoes and shit. It's like a volcano, even though it's nuclear winter, volcano blows or something, or there's just some source of, or even just like decaying fossil fuels or decaying plastic or something, you know, like life finds a way, right? That's the famous quote from Jurassic Park, guys. Come on. You guys should know this. This is all part of American history. Speaking of American history, which is, of course, American entertainment. And speaking of, yes, the Super Bowl, LCIV, LCI, I don't know. I don't really. I found out yesterday that the Super Bowl was on. I had no idea. Apparently it's the 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody's all like, okay, where's Kansas City? The only reason everybody knows Kansas City is in Missouri right now, or part of it is because of Trump fucking up and everybody making fun of him because he said, yeah, big ups to Kansas. But it was actually the Missouri side, Kansas City. But come on. It's confusing. Don't act like you knew this whole time. Whatever, man. Anyways, this is a sport where major head trauma is a hallmark of the consequences of playing. You know, that's part of the heroism of that. You are putting your body on the line and your brain is being jostled. And, you know, people with advanced CTE get, I don't know. They have like irrational irrational thoughts, impulse control. They're prone to violence. And, you know, people talk about OJ as possibly having because OJ took a lot of hits. Here's the thing. Here's what I know enough about football. It's the guys who you throw the ball to, they take the hits. They're taking hits, man. So, you got fucking OJ, right? I don't know. What is he, a running back? I don't know anything about positions or anything. I just know I've seen enough film of OJ just getting hit. Wham, wham. And he's a big dude and he's moving, and then if you know anything about physics, it's your mass combined with the other mass. When you collide, it's both of the masses. It's not just the fact that one guy's bigger or smaller than you coming into you that's going to make an impact. It's both of you moving. Two big things moving. You know what I'm saying? I think the physics behind it is something like, from what I remember, I could be making all of this up, but if like two cars were coming at each other at the same speed and they were the same mass, it would be like one car slamming into a wall that's twice the mass. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same force, same amount of force. So there's this is like a shitload of force going on when you got a 300-pound guy or 200, whatever, just fucking running full speed, full sprint. And then you got another fucking 250 guy, wham, and then another one behind him, wham. You know what I'm saying? And then you hit the ground, bam, all that jostling. And then imagine practice, just boom, boom, boom. They've had studies where the guys who practice soccer, bouncing the ball on their heads are getting CTE. So it's just the repetitive stress, right? Repetitive jostling, repetitive stress. Anyways, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Not really. I don't really care enough. It's not like I'm like, I protest the sport because of its barbaric nature. I love MMA. Tons of head trauma coming out of MMA. But at least with MMA, it's like one guy versus one guy. You know what I mean? It's not like three guys tackling one guy. At least it's just one guy or girl versus another trying to give each other head trauma. Honestly, though, face to face. One-on-one, not much equipment. You know what I'm saying? I think the thing about football is because of all the gear, the football players tend to move at much higher velocities and much dangerously than they would without gear. There's an argument for that, right? There's, I think rugby players have much less head trauma. Rugby players have those leather helmets or whatever, the old school, or no helmets. Yeah, right. Rugby players don't even have helmets. And they just learn the way they play is to minimize head trauma, not run headfirst into people and slam into them, and I think they do more things like double legs and stuff, like do more wrestling type moves, maneuvers where you take the legs out as opposed to just smashing football style into somebody. In fact, I think the first time I ever learned a double leg takedown, my instinct was to just smash into somebody because I saw that's just what I saw on TV and in video games, right? But it's not. It's a nice scooping. It's a scoop. Scoop them up. Double leg takedown. Really something. I think everybody should learn the double leg takedown. I think it's like one of those things, just like a right cross. Really, it should be a jab. Everybody should learn a jab, cross, and a double leg takedown. And I think there could be a lot less violence, maybe more violence, but at least somewhat managed. At least if everybody learned how to throw and take a punch and execute and fall correctly from a takedown, you'd have less injuries. Maybe more people would be down to throw down. I don't know. I feel like the more like fights I see, the public fights, like the fucking World Star shit I see, is people aren't really skilled. It's more the will. Tons of confidence, right? Isn't that America? Number one in confidence, number a million in fucking execution, in the actual knowledge, wherewithal. So anyways, had no idea it was the Super Bowl. Heard Kansas City won. Good for them, ? But for me, I decided I would watch the Aaron Hernandez documentary instead, because I have no regular TV, so I couldn't watch it anyways, and I have no connection to. I'm not gonna put it. I'd rather throw on Vikings. I've been watching Vikings. It's great. Is it accurate? No, but is it wonderful? Yes. It's a wonderful show. It's totally ridiculous, but it's fine. Anyways, I watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary, and I was, wow. It is fascinating that this guy most likely murdered a couple guys in the streets of Boston, then played an entire season of pro football. Got to the Super Bowl, even caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Then ended up murdering another dude. And then, it all came kind of down after that. So he probably murdered 3 people. It's very possible he shot at a couple others in Florida. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's fascinating, just a fascinating look at a young-ass guy, One of the things I didn't appreciate was the demonization of marijuana. Like, apparently he smoked a lot of weed, and the prosecution was trying to use that against him, right? And talked about he had a friend who would roll blunt that he called the blunt master. That's actually in the public record. Prosecution trying to use the blunt master as a way for the jury to kind of, feel like, ooh, this guy is crazy. Maybe he's crazy. I don't know. Man, him smoking all that weed was probably the only thing that kept him from murdering more people, right? He probably would have fucking shot up the Super Bowl. He probably would have touchdown, Super Bowl, then pulled out fucking 2 Uzis, and just start shooting everything. That he probably would have done that if it hadn't been for him being high all the time. I don't appreciate marijuana being so maligned, okay, in the public by the government, right? Because that was the prosecution there who did that. Man, there's enough evidence putting him there at the scene, including the blunt at the murder scene. Oh man, the guy he killed, Odin Lloyd, there was a blunt. He left a blunt or a joint. It looked like a joint, but they called it a blunt because racism, blunt, because what does it connotate? Black people, right? But it was a fucking joint. They said there was DNA on it that matched Aaron Hernandez. So he was smoking a joint and murdering his friend, and then left the joint, and then just, I don't know, and then just went to play more football, right? Crazy. Anyways, that should have been part of the halftime extravaganza. I feel like instead of, because you had your Shakira and your J-Lo doing the Super Bowl halftime show, but I think, they could have just played the Aaron Hernandez documentary, right? Because I think that would have been, see, what better way to show the Latino contribution to the NFL than to show the work of Aaron Hernandez. And Aaron Hernandez had people loved him. He played a great game. He was also a murderer and getting away with it. I mean, come on. If that's not America, I don't know what is, huh? This guy is a fucking football star, and he's killing people and getting away with it. Come on. Are you kidding me? Who died smoking weed all day? On top of that, not lazy. That totally smashes the stereotype of the lazy Latino, right? That's fucking, are you kidding me? We're putting kids in cages when these kids could fucking grow up to be super fucking stars like this. Not only superstars, but fucking soldiers of war. Fucking Super Bowl soldiers. Latinos could be Super Bowl soldiers, not just Super Bowl halftime entertainers. Okay, they can do more than just shake their asses and dance and look good. They can fucking get out there and win the game and murder people for spilling drinks on them. And honestly, murdering other Latinos, all right? That's what he did. Are you kidding me? How much more American do you need this guy to be, right? Fucking went and killed himself because he thought he could get his wife more money, but unfortunately they cock-blocked him for that. But whatever, that's besides the point. This is a man who played the game both on the field and off. You know what I'm saying? And what was the game? The game was being an American. Okay? And that's what we should be celebrating during the halftime of the Super Bowl, right? Not just chicks dancing. Not just, no offense to J-Lo, Shakira. Beautiful. You're all arguing about which one. Fuck you. Shut up. What you would turn down either. Yeah. And if you did, get out of here. Go away. I don't want to talk to you if that's even on the table, right? My own fiance would fucking leave me if she heard me talking like that. You know what I'm saying? She's like, get out of here. What are you fucking white knighting? Did just obvious lies? J-Lo, who cares if she, have you seen, come on. You see Hustlers to 50? Come on. Anyways, That's probably just my own personal predilections. I like my women a little older. I'm not into this whole Epstein thing. I don't know. That's I know that's the du jour. That's people love it, but I don't know. Youth is overrated. That's what I gotta say. Young people are dumb and just really easily manipulated. Oh God, they just have no idea what's going on. I mean, nobody really does. That's how you get goop, right? You want to take it back to goop? Nah, I'm not gonna go on my goop tirade again. You guys have heard enough about goop and the eggs and the pussy. You don't need that in the vaginas. Did I just make it easier? Just made it nicer by saying vagina after that. Well, okay. Super Bowl halftime extravaganza. Aaron Hernandez, killer of men, lover of men, and I'll give it up to the prosecution. They tried to get him on the weed, but they didn't get him on the gay stuff. So big ups to them. Good for you guys. You didn't try to say maybe it's because he was gay. The public did that. The public glossed over the weed because they were like, nah, it's not the weed. It's probably because of the gay. It's probably there's some gay shit. He was gay and violent. Gay, violent, CTE. Super Bowl extravaganza. Yeah, are you ready for some football? And that's the whole thing, guys. We love football. All right? We love sports. Just like with the whole Kobe thing, we love our sports heroes more than actual heroes. We don't even care if our sports heroes are villains, okay? We don't care. We don't care as long as they're winning. Because winning is all that matters. You win at all costs. The ends justify the means, right? Getting in the end zone justifies the mean zone. You know what I'm saying? So, are you ready for some football? Are you ready for some football? I think we are. Football is, exactly what the American character is, right? We are warlike people. We're warlike people, and we derive immense pleasure from it, and we also ignore the consequences of it. Just ignore it. Just move on. We just move, keep plowing forward till you get to the end zone. You get the touchdown. You get the fucking field goal. You get the points. You win. You win. You win. Right? Doesn't matter if motherfuckers are killing themselves because of the crippling depression or anxiety or the thoughts that the CTE is giving them or the thoughts of wanting to kill other people or themselves, and they end up killing themselves. Thank God. Some of them end up killing others. We'll see more. Some of them just fight dogs. Out of all this, Michael Vick does not seem like that bad a guy. Some people, yes, dogs, poor dogs, but he's not murdering people. Well, we'll find out more, won't we, as the NFL continues? Because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that we're concussing all these guys. Why should we care about that when we've been at war for 18 years and guys are coming home concussed from explosions? Why do we care? You know what I mean? Guys getting concussed, that's our thing. That's America. This is America is getting a concussion, okay? Not just apple pie. Concussions are on the table as well. As American as a drone strike. That's American as losing your life because of no health care. That's as American as head trauma, okay? Head trauma for the sake of entertainment or freedom or whatever. Whatever it is for the empire, the glory of the empire. Cranial trauma for the empire, CTE. That's what we need. But that's us. Look, we started torturing when the war started. We had a whole torture thing. We had a whole torture program, right? We had spent millions of dollars on a torture program. That means there's a torture infrastructure. You understand? That means there's a torture office. There's an office structure that they had to make where people torture people. That means you had the tortures, you had to have meetings, go to work and stuff, have performance evaluations. Really, it's fucking absurd. But can you imagine, right? You just be like, well, Johnson, not a lot of confessions from you. I gotta be honest. I was really hoping for a lot more usable intel. And you're just like, yeah, dude, I'm torturing them as fast as I can, as much as I can, doing as much as but I can't full on torture them, right? You're not letting me full on torture them. I can only torture them within these rules, and my hands are tied, just like the guy's hands are tied when I throw ice cold water on him and threaten him with dogs on his balls. Just like that, my hands are tied. And the boss is like, yes, well, this is, we're not in the torture business, Johnson. We're in the enhanced interrogation business. Right? So I want you to continue employing our enhanced interrogation methods until you get us some actionable intel. And he's like, all right, fuck, all right. And and you got your torturers just being all like, I gotta go to work, man. Because it just becomes a job, right? And you're just like, the fucking boss doesn't know what he's talking about. He's like, doesn't matter what you fucking, it's gonna be like, remember in Reservoir Dogs where you're like, you beat a man enough, he'll tell you where his woman's underwear. Doesn't necessarily mean it's so, right? Yeah, I bet you a lot of these guys admitted they wore women's underwear. They're like, yes, I wear the panties. They probably kind of fucking, just for a goof, they probably did it. Because after a while, you're just like, what are we doing here? What are you doing? This is fucking, you know what I mean? Then you have to have these meetings where like, do sort of like torture, fucking riff meetings where you're just like, what else? What are just some ideas? Come on, let's throw some ideas around the table. It's like, what if we waterboard them like upside down? What if we, or how about, we can so we can't cut pieces off of them, but what if we threaten to cut pieces off of, what if we put their fingers inside of a giant pair of garden shears and we just kept, and then we had a dog barking at his nuts, like we do, and then we were like, we're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. How about that? How about something like that? And I'm like, I don't know, that might be maybe too close to the line of what's legal, what's not legal. I don't know. Anybody else who's got that? What about birds? I'm like, what? Birds, you fucking use birds. Right. I'm intrigued. Could you actually write something up? Like this bird thing, that's interesting because we can use insects, we can use animals. So maybe birds, some of these guys really hate birds. They're really freaked out about them. Maybe figure out what kind of birds we can get our hands on. Where are we? We're in the middle of the desert. Desert roadrunners? I think we get some roadrunners. Fill the room with roadrunners. Fucking put him on a box. Maybe put him on a box, and then he can't step down because there's roadrunners like everywhere. And he's up there, and he's like, no, please. And then they're like, meep, meep. And then it's just, it kind of writes itself, right? And they're like, you know what, Johnson, I was wrong about what you said earlier. This is a great idea. This is why we have this enhanced interrogation program, okay? This is why we do this. This is why the American taxpayer is paying for this infrastructure. Torture office. Interesting premise. I could probably run with this for a bit, but I won't. You know why? Because time's up. Trying to keep these things at a digestible length, whatever that means in this day and age. None of that means anything, guys. It's all over. Traditional media's over. Don't even listen to anybody who tells you otherwise. The people who are like, Joe Rogan, why are people, Bernie Sanders, fucking, your finger is not on the pulse if you don't understand, if just now you're coming around to who Joe Rogan is, okay? People have been listening to him for like 10 years. Okay. You don't need me to explain this to you. You probably are me, the only listener to this podcast, the ramblings of a madman, the Rojan Kimcast. Thank you so much for listening. I got shows coming up, but they don't really matter. I'm going to be in Huntington Beach next week, Sunday, Monday. You can see me at Chapter 1. It's Sunday at 7 p.m. Who's going to come to this? Nobody. Monday, Anchor Bar, 10 p.m. They're really glorified mics. I'm just brushing myself, brushing the old dust off. Not really. I love stand-up comedy, but I hate it too. But I love it, and that's just the way it is, just like life. Okay. Will I be at the Lexington? Yes, on the 18th, I'll be at the Lexington on a storyteller show. Who knows what stories I'll be telling? I will regale you with stories about my family and make everybody just really depressed or happy that they're not me. See? And I think if I've done that, I've done something. I've done my job, right? Not getting paid, but I do get satisfaction knowing that I'm touching people. Touching legally with their consent in their minds and hearts, not their butts or crotches, none of that. But inside, touching them. So please, the deal. Follow me out there on the socials, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me. Call your local comedy club and be like, hey, when are you booking Rojan Kim? When are you booking Rojan Kim? And hopefully the bookings will roll in. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.